Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your gameplay for the VB.10-02. This is a French rank 4 battle rating 4.7 interceptor that has two engines, and you might not think it, but it does indeed have two engines attached to contra-rotating propellers. And this thing is a beast with four 20mm cannons and six 12.7mm 50 cal HMG. So this thing can pretty much just do whatever it wants except climb and turn well. So despite the fact that it has a 24-second turn time, it's not even, I would say, all that good. It does have a great top speed, but you're really rarely ever going to approach that unless in a dive, and in that case, even with throttle all the way down to 0%, you could find yourself easily surpassing 800 kilometers per hour in this thing, which puts it in danger of wing rippage. Now that said, this thing is a beast with a fist of hammers, and it is just a real ton of fun to fly, but it can be a little bit difficult when fighting more nimble fighters. So that said, let's get into some gameplay here, see what we could do. I will try to give some tips, tricks, some strengths and weaknesses, all of that in my pursuit of having a few good games in this and something worthy enough of being considered gameplay. So that said, let's get into it. So thankfully this is a pretty small map. It'll be a good map to get some real quick engagement with, and typically bombers aren't all that high up in it, which is great because we have this B-25 coming in at around 11 kilometers right now. So that said, let's get into some strengths and weaknesses, and first, my apologies if there are any, if you hear my mic sounding a little bit different, the reason being is because something happened where one of the pieces of my mic broke, and so I am actually getting that replaced. Should be replaced hopefully in the next few days. But either way, some strengths and weaknesses. And so first, for a strength, it has a phenomenal amount of power in its cannons. 10 total guns with what is that, 6 HMGs and 450 or 420mm cannons, which is just fantastic. And as you'll hopefully see here in a second, should be able to dispatch of this B-25 in no more than a few moments, and he's destroyed. I did take a little bit of damage because, of course, it's never really all that wise to get behind such a plane, but pretty negligible. He only damaged a little bit of the skin of my plane and possibly a wing spar, but not all too bad. An acceptable loss, in my opinion. But as I said, I mean, this thing, it can really just annihilate anything. And if that was a fighter, I would have taken him out even sooner than that. So it's just an excellent boom and zoom aircraft, almost to a fault, as a matter of fact, because for its second strength, it has a phenomenal dive rate. I mean, there are few propeller planes, in my opinion, in this game that have this good of a dive rate. But it can kind of work against it because, again, and as you'll probably see here a little bit, you know, I'm not all that high up, but you'll probably see I'm just dropping it down to 12%. You're going to see, actually 0% now, that the rate of dive is just absolutely absurd in this thing. Gotta speed it up, speed up, speed up. Okay, crit him, and damaged him. The flaps on this thing are also pretty good. They can be activated at a pretty decent speed, which is very nice. Probably gotta start firing on this guy in a second. Oh yeah, yep. Don't want my buddy to die even more, but too late for that. Crit him. Okay. But one thing you're probably going to notice in this gameplay, time and time, I'm really surprised this guy's not dead yet. Okay, nice. That you're going to notice in this gameplay, pretty much with every map, it doesn't matter where I am, this thing overheats pretty quickly. It's not to the point where it damages the engine so much. I'm just going to head on with him. Hey, look at that. Third kill, probably. But it's not to the point where the engine overheats substantially, unless, of course, you're literally on fire. But if you hold the WEP down for long enough, it will overheat. Whereas a lot of other propeller planes, it gets just to the border and doesn't really go. But this does. So anyways, let's get into another match here. 3 kills, 1 assist. Not too bad. The reason why I did a head-on there was because I was a little bit low energy. To be honest, I also don't like dusk maps, so I just kind of decided, okay, got enough energy, I've got enough power in this thing to get a nice, easy kill, which will end me with 3 and also an assist, which is not a bad match. Anyways, let's get into the next match, getting some more strengths and weaknesses perhaps, and also some tactics. Okay, so I guess let's finish off some of those strengths and weaknesses. And, you know, one of its strengths, of course, is the fact that it has an air spawn. This plane is just good enough. It has just a good enough rate of climb to actually be able to intercept some enemy bombers. Whereas other interceptors, you know, such as the not the DO-335, but that's more of a strike fighter, but of course it does still get an air spawn, and you cannot really intercept enemy bombers typically with that, whereas this one has a pretty decent rate of success insofar as reaching those. So as you can see over there, it looks like there's an enemy bomber. Hopefully you can see that, but also my engine is starting to overheat. Now, it will typically just get to the orange level. Of course, it does depend a little bit on the map, you know, as to how quickly it will get to higher, I guess you could say, heat level. But it will hit red if you do hold the weapon for too long, which is unfortunate because this plane is very much dependent on it. So this is a fully decked out aircraft, but as you can see, going maybe like, what, around 15 meters per second. I'm hardly gaining any speed on this thing, which is a shame. Actually, that one might be a bomber, so I'm probably going to go for him if I can make it over there. But in a straight line, it's actually quite fast, which is another strength. Now, ooh, you know what? I might go for that B-26. I mean, he's coming right for me, right? You know what? I think I'm going to do that, save myself the trouble of going for an unknown plane when I could just go for this B-26 instead. Now, what I typically do is I turn off or turn down the engine a little bit to like 90 to 95%. That way I'm still getting sufficient power to be able to move myself forward, but of course it's not going to be entirely sufficient for climbing up all the way and doing all that. So, okay, good. We have that J2M over there. That's definitely good. So I'm going to try to climb up a little bit. Typically, when it comes to bombers, I mean, you can just knock them out from the side. I think B-26s, don't they have a forward armament? Hope not. Yep, it does. He doesn't like me. Okay, gotta dodge, gotta dodge, gotta dodge. Get down. I got lucky. Got really lucky. Holy cow. Dude didn't touch me with those 50s. Woo! So what I want to avoid pretty much at all costs is going for, or is being shot at by those BF-109s. They can outclimb me, they can outturn me, they can pretty much do whatever they need to take me down. So if I can just turn around, kind of do like a half sort of side climb, I might be able to get away, but honestly, this is probably about the highest I've ever seen the enemy team collectively in any of my matches with this. I played a few dozen. So I'm actually kind of surprised that this guy is so high up. I'm pretty sure he's going to go for me. But in the meantime, I can still go for this B-17. Hopefully he kind of turns over to me. If not, I should be able to get him from beneath. He's not traveling all that fast, which is good. And that's really, again, the whole point of this aircraft. I mean, its strength is its armament. And it has just a good enough rate of climb where it can intercept these bombers. So I'm still going over 350 kilometers per hour. Now, when it's not at all spaded, it sucks. When it comes to its performance, it's just not good at all. Okay, I thought he was coming up for me. Ooh, that was bad on me. Hopefully this guy, I mean, obviously, he must know I'm here. But once you start getting up to a high enough altitude, it becomes a little bit difficult. So I'm going to dive down a little bit, because I don't feel like being shot up more. I'm going to dive or climb up behind him, below him, put on my flaps, get up there, and should be able to hopefully knock him out. There we go. That's how we do it. So I made a bit of a mistake there. Ooh, he's still shooting at me. He's a pissed off. Ooh, he's pissed. But, oh, I can understand why he's pissed. Oh, God. He hates me. Whoa. Okay. So there you have it. Holy what? Whoa, he's still shooting at me. This guy, I'll give him credit. That is a mean son of a gun. So I'm gonna probably want to land in a few seconds. I don't really think we'll be able to do too much else here. But again, you're typically going. Yeah, I'm gonna have to land. One of my engines is dead. Shut off my engines at this point because, as you can see, I'm still like really gaining speed very quickly. This is a big, heavy fighter, and again, going up towards 800 kilometers per hour with ease in a dive. I mean, it is just fantastic as a diver. I'm not going to go for him now. He's destroyed, so I'm not going to steal that kill. But go for this artillery piece down here. I got 2 kills against bombers, no less, which is really, again, you know, mainly what this thing is all about. Can't complain about getting those, but I'll probably land, and you know, if there's any more combat to do in this match, I'll do that. But again, for its main strengths, you're going to have a good overall top speed. It's nothing fantastic, but and it's not something typically attainable, but you'll see it typically getting above 450, maybe around 500 kilometers per hour. Whoa, I'm going the opposite way I should be going. It's got an incredible dive rate, but that can also again work against it, just due to the fact that this thing has a almost too good of a dive rate, and its wings will rip beyond around 825, 850 kilometers per hour, which is not a very difficult thing to hit, especially if you have your throttle on typically above 20% with this thing. And then it also has a fantastic armament. So those are going to be its 3 main strengths. I'd say another strength, kind of like a side strength here, but you could also consider it to be pretty important, is that it has 2 engines. And by way of this having 2 engines, I can make my way back home. If my main engine was destroyed, if I only had 1 engine, I wouldn't be able to actually land back at base. So this is a very, very nice feature on this plane. Okay, he's dead. So, you know, of course, we can't discount that. But insofar as weaknesses are concerned, it's a heavy fighter. It doesn't have the greatest turn capabilities. Oh, one more strength, actually. It's got pretty damn good flaps. But, again, it's a pretty heavy fighter. It doesn't have the greatest turning capabilities. Overall, it overheats a little bit easily. You know, there's enough performance weaknesses with this thing that kind of shut it out of the conversation of being like a good fighter. But again, I mean, it's just an interceptor rather than a fighter, and you know, and also it doesn't have any real close air support capability outside of strafing, which is good, but you know, that's not the same as dropping a bomb on somebody. So it's got its strengths and weaknesses, of course, but I'll get into tactics in the next match a little bit more than I was before, but I'm assuming that this match is pretty much over. But not all too bad. I have an assist, 2 kills, albeit I think that assist was from that bot there, but could be worse. So let's get into the next match here and see what we can do. Huh, look at that. I landed. Now this is the map that all interceptor pilots hope for. You have a DO-17 there, 1 there, a JU-188 down there. We have a bunch of IL-2s over there. This might shape up to be a good time. Now, whether or not it'll be a good match, I guess it depends on how I perform. But until then, I can have, you know, sweet hopes and aspirations for this. So I'm going to go for this DO-217 and see if I can pull that off. Probably go for the PV-4Y next, assuming I should be able to climb about that high. But really, I should have been flying in front of this guy, or to the point in front of this guy, rather than directly towards him. That way I could make sure that I have a better, I guess you would say, intercept vector. This A6M5M, or whatever it is, wants some, but should be able to hopefully get the kill. There we go. Not too difficult. Got this DO-217 down here. He's being chased by 2 people, but you know what? I'm going to still go for this PV-4Y. That would be a waste of team resources to go for him. Well, the DO-217. But hopefully this should be an easy enough kill. Don't have anyone immediately near me to kill me. So I should be able to go up, wait, and start shooting. Okay. Got some nice crits on him. Damaged elevator. Good enough for me. No one is near enough to me. So typically in a larger map, I would say the main tactic that you're going to want to use with this aircraft is going to be boom and zoom. Ooh, I can come back around. I was not expecting that. He seems to be out of control. Typically it's going to be boom and zoom, is what I would say. This is a great boom and zoom aircraft. But in this case, I would just say intercepting, you know, but really boom and zoom starts off in this plane with intercepting first. You know, climb up to a high enough altitude, take out a bomber or two, maybe an escort, and then drive back down, drop down for the, you know, lower altitude enemies. So typically at that point, I would like to go for lesser maneuverable aircraft like this DO-335. I'll probably go for him. There's enough of an enemy presence down there where I'm not... Ooh, you know what? This guy's back here. Put on my combat flaps. He's going to dive below me. Hopefully that means a kill. Hopefully. Got a kill. Sweet. There we go. I knew this would be a fun match. Shut up. Turned down my thrust. Or throttle, that's for damn sure. So, I mean, as you can see, in a minimal dive, I'm already reaching close to over 700 kilometers per hour with partial throttle. So I should actually, you know what? I'm going to increase the WEP here. I should be able to hunt this FW-190 down, whereas the A6M5 might not. The reason being is because the A6M5, of course, is a bit slower typically than Focke-Wulf 190s, and they don't have the ammunition totals that I have. So, I mean, I still have plenty of ammunition on all counts. That's one of the things that makes this thing just so damn good. But one of its main weaknesses is going to be that huge, like, I mean, it's just a huge rudder that you kind of like have to turn over on itself. Like, I can't really make great movements on this thing, again, because of that rudder. So, at this point, I think there's like, what, 2 players left? They're both fighters. One of them's far enough away. They're both probably quite far away. So I'm assuming this will be the end of the match, but not all too bad. Quick 3 kills. As you can see, yep, we just got that right there, so they're all dead. So anyways, not a bad match. You know, please, of course, like, comment, subscribe. That'll be the end of this gameplay. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but either way, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.